Good morning, everyone. Well, it's morning for me. It might be night or evening or I don't know what for you, but wherever you are, good day. Fish shop Matt here, as always. Why have I got my hat on still? I look all right? Yeah, I look fine. I'm in the shop waiting for Dave from NT Labs. I might put a photo here, might not, depending on if you'll let me. But Dave has been my good friend for about 18 odd years. I've known him so long. But he works for NT Labs, and I'm waiting for him to come down because he's taking me over to their office over in Kent, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, over on the London side of England. I'm from the other side of England. So yeah, we're going over there to NT Labs office, and I'm going to be scaping a tank. They've invited me over to scape their tank in their foyer. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be really good. A little bit nerve-wracking, but I think we'll be okay. Now, the tank that they've asked me to scape has been scaped before in blah. The tank that they've asked me to scape has been scaped before. It's in their foyer, as I think I've said already. It's a really cool design because it's quite a deep tank. We'll get into that in a bit because obviously I'll be recording when I'm over in Kent in, well, for you about 3 minutes, but for me about 10 hours. So as I said, it has been scaped before. It's a little bit daunting because obviously normally I scape tanks when I'm sort of 10-20 minutes from my shop, which is great because it's so simple and easy and I can drop back to the shop if I need to. For anyone who doesn't know, Kent is 4 hours away from where I am now. So we are, yeah, like I say, southwest of England, they are southeast of England. So I've got to make sure I've got all of my stuff, cameras, tweezers, plant, substrate, plants, rocks, wood, everything. I need to make sure I've got everything. And I think I've got everything. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to do a quick whip around in a minute and just go around and make sure I've got everything. But I think I've got the majority of things I need. Now for this scape, obviously I'll probably talk about it in a minute in the video. But for this scape, I have chosen Dragonstone because I love it. I haven't done a scape yet on my own, on video, with a Dragonstone, I don't think. So that'll be cool. Really looking forward to that because I like Dragonstone. It's just a nice, easy rock to work with and those different shapes. And hang on a minute. Let's take you over to the scaping area and I can show you. Right, so it is still morning, so none of our lights have, or not all of our lights have turned off, and like the discus black water tank is, yeah, very black because it is pitch black. So the thought is to use a big bit of mangrove wood. Hang on, where is it? Aged mangrove wood. It's on here somewhere. It's this stuff. So it's really gnarly, got some really good shapes to it. I've already picked out the bit that I have used or going to use on this scape. So yeah, that's the sort of wood that I'm going for, that really gnarly sort of looking stuff. So that's really cool. Then rock-wise, I think our Dragonstone's around the other side. I am definitely going to have to get that light on before I show you around the other side. Hang on a minute. That is so much better. Look at that. Look, you can actually see the wood now. So this is the wood I'm going for. Mangrove-y style wood. Now rock-wise, got Siriu stone, but I'm not going with that. I've got a tank at home I want to do with that. So there we go, Dragonstone. So yeah, Dragonstone is this really cool sort of holy textured rock. I don't think I'm going to need anything that big because this tank isn't that big. But yeah, it's really cool, really textured. It's got all those cool sort of holes and shapes to it. So yeah, that's going to be my rock of choice. Right, so I've checked on my trolley. I've got a dark substrate, like a planting substrate. I'm not going to cap it with sand. We're just going to go for a pure planting substrate on the top of it. And then we've got some mineral mix to go in underneath it. So that'll give us a good amount of minerals. Next, the exciting bit is obviously plants. Now, because this is going in a workplace, I need to make sure that these plants are essentially easy to care for. We don't want anything that they're going to have to trim too much, anything that they're going to have to sort of mess around with too much. So my thoughts really are probably some anubias. Don't know if you can see better from the top. So yeah, some of these really nice anubias. I'm reckoning a few bucephalndra because they are generally really hardy. I think that would work. I'm going to go Java fern. Obviously you can't see them because they're buried underneath these massive anubias heterophylla. But yeah, some really nice Java fern I think in the back. What else are we going to go for? Anubias nana bonsai, I think, are two that I'm going to have to go for. Probably a few little crypts, maybe. Definitely some hairgrass. That's probably the hardest thing, actually. If I go for some liliopsis and some hairgrass, that'll be really nice, because that'll give that foreground sort of shape and cover. It's a harder plant to grow, but I think they'll be okay with that. We're obviously going to be running ONF lighting on there because NT Labs distribute that in the UK, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be running a really nice ONF light over the top of it. And then they're obviously going to be using their plant fertilizers. You know, they do a liquid plant food and a CO2 boost. So yeah, I think we'll be all right with that. I think the majority of those hardy plants will grow. I was actually just walking past this tank, which is the 100p puffer aquarium that we done on MD Fishtank's channel. And look at that crypt balansae. That is nuts. I'm actually going to thin some of this out and take it with me, because we've been meaning to thin this out for a fair few weeks and we haven't got round to it. But yeah, that is just mad on the growth. It looks amazing, but the problem is the filter inlet is back here behind it all. So yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be doing too well with the filter. So yeah, I'm going to remove some of that, because that'll be a really good background plant, actually. That'll work really, really well. Seriously, check out the size of it. That's like, so if I stand there, that's down to my belt. That is huge. It looks amazing though, look at that. So yeah, I'm going to use that in the background, I think. That'll look really, really cool. Sort of, well, I won't tell you too much, but it will sweep out from behind some wood. Like I say, it might go through a bit of a melt. Crypts are, well, they're a melty plant. As soon as you move them, as soon as you uproot them, move them from our tanks to your tanks, they do like to go through a bit of a melting stage. So don't worry, as long as the roots are still intact and that root ball stays in the bottom of the bottom of the tank, then it will come back. Generally, they'll reshoot, regrow, and you'll be absolutely fine. I just had a thought that some of you might not be familiar with who NT Labs are. I forget that obviously there's people from all over the world that watch this. So if any of you aren't familiar with it, I've worked with NT Labs for quite a few years. We've stocked their stuff in the shop for years and years. They produce things like foods, liquid treatments like medications, plant fertilizers. What else do they produce? Test kits. Yeah, my test kit that I use at home. That's an NT Labs test kit. Really, really great test kit. So yeah, they produce all the sort of consumables, I suppose you would say, for your aquarium. We actually feed the food in here as well. They do like a predator food and a stingray food that obviously Buster and all the stingrays really, really enjoy. I reckon I've got time. Yeah, let's try and do it. If this bit doesn't end up in, I'm sorry, I'm going to feed the stingrays quickly. If Dave turns up, he might have to wait, or I might have to shoot off. So let's do a bit of feeding quickly on the stingrays of their predator food. I'll go and grab it. Yeah, it should be behind the system. Hang on. So it wasn't behind the system. Can you see it in shot? It's here. I think I left it out yesterday. So I'll get told off now. Cheryl will tell me off in the shop for leaving this out. Predator, as I was saying, and then stingray pellets. Like I say, these are really good sort of predatory, meaty, you know, aggressive fish food, really. Yeah, so this is the stingray one. They absolutely love this stuff. Buster really likes it as well. The problem is it's quite small, so he doesn't always see it, bless him. But yeah, he does actually really like it as well. Cue the cool montage of fish feeding. Anyway, that's enough of that. You've seen enough of a montage of them all feeding. I'll do a bigger video of it if you want to in the future. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. Dave's outside. That's why I just got a text, so I had to stop feeding. So Dave's outside, we're ready to go. We're going to go and see Jono, we're going to go and see Ruby, who are part of the team over at NT Labs in Kent. So we're going to go and see them. Yeah, let's get ready, let's get everything in the car and go. Actually, just a quick note, this bit might not end up in the video. NT Labs are going to do a really cool thing where they're doing a meet the team video. I can't wait to see Dave's. It'll be hilarious. But they're doing a meet the team sort of video over on their YouTube channel. Jono is first, and Jono's their like marketing guy. He's never been in front of a camera, and I know how nervous he was. I was talking to him about it. I think it could be quite funny. So yeah, if that video's been released by the time I do this one, I'll link it down in the comments. I'll put a picture here. Look, this is Jono. But yeah, it'll be a funny video to watch. So this is the tank we're going to be working with. It's a 60 centimetre, 55 front to back. Yeah, almost cube style aquarium. It's really wicked because you got lots of depth, but you don't have to mess around with the height. I think it's going to be a cool setup. Obviously, we've got the wicked ONF light on the top, which you'll have seen on my bowl, and I've got one for a scape that I'm going to do, but I've still not decided on what scape I'm going to use it on. But yeah, wicked ONF light on the top of it, so that's going to help the plants massively. The woods and rocks we're going for, so we've got this wicked, oh hang on everyone, you know me and my ISO, let's talk out that. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. So we've got this wicked mangrove wood, some cool shapes and structures. Dragonstone, because I thought that complemented that really nicely. It's going to sort of tie in with that real structured look. And then over here, whoosh, bucket full of plants, because we need plants. Substrates, so we've got a real nutrient-rich soil to go underneath the main soil. And then we've got this nice fine sort of aqua soil that's going on top. So yeah, that's our sort of stuff that we're going to be using in here. Again, we'll adjust the ISO for you so you don't get blinded. But let's get scaping. As always, key to success in planted aquariums is substrates and fertilizers that are going in the soil. They're going to be feeding the roots of the plants. Now we've got this one, obviously got a trusty bag to put it all in so it doesn't end up coming through that really nice dark substrate. And what we're going to do is we're going to place that right in this back corner and scape down in towards this side. So yeah, we're going to get that in a bag first, get that going and get that placed. So we've got our bag of nutrient basin, that's all in there. It's going to be built up at the back a little bit, which is really, really nice. Then what we've got is we've got our soil layer now. So this is just a really fine aquarium substrate that we're going to go with. So we'll get that in. Hopefully we can then start playing with the rocks and wood, which is the fun bit. Right, so this is our main focal point, this absolute chunk of mangrove wood here. It's really heavy. It's quite hard to see it on camera. So that's going to go in that back corner. So we're going to get that situated because that's our main focal point. And that's going to sit on the top of this sort of mound here. So I think that would be cool. If I just go down, you can sort of see the size of it compared to the cabinet then. But yeah, we're going to get that one in. That's our main point. And then we can start playing around with dragon rock. And maybe these twiggy bits if we need them. But I'm not sure yet. Irritatingly, I was using my rubbish battery, so I'm going to have to film all of that again. So here we go, round 2 on talking about the wood. So we've got that massive bit of wood, mangrove wood, sat in the back now, which is really cool. Leaving a bit of space down in here for some sort of dragonstone to creep out from it. I've placed one of the small bits in here. I sort of do want the other bit in there. I just can't work out where it goes yet. But I'm going to get some dragonstone in there because this one's currently just sort of propped up on the back of this wood. So get some dragonstone built up around it and we might get that other piece in. But as an imposing piece of wood and the main feature of the scape, I think I'm all right with it. I got it. I found it. So this little bit that was on the end was just up here and stopping it from locking into this bit of wood. But that now fits in really nicely. So all the lines are sort of following themselves and it looks like a tree root on the bank. So really happy with how that's just fitted in. We've got a whole bucket of dragonstone to go in here. We are definitely not needing it all, but a few key pieces coming down into the wood and around this sort of scape is going to look really good. I'm also going to probably use them to glue the wood to. Otherwise, we might end up with an issue. I don't think this one's going to float. He's quite heavy. These two, though, I reckon they are more than likely going to float. So we'll get some of the glue on these bits of rock so we can get it all structured and all fixed together. Right, so our main rock structure is now in. I'm loving all these sort of... I've tried to follow the lines like the roots have sort of grown through the dragonstone and broken it up. I'm a little concerned that it's all going to float, but we're going to get in here with the glue now. We've got loads of sticking points, so we're just going to go through, glue all these different bits of wood and rock all into one structure, and then hopefully it won't float. Right, we are glued, we are stuck. I'm hoping that it's not going to float, but only time will tell. I'm confident, it's fine. But the rock's looking really cool. We've got this real sort of root structure coming down into this side. So yeah, it looks really nice. The next bit is probably my favourite bit, and that's getting the plants in there. So we've gone for sort of big leaf, easy to grow plants just to keep the maintenance levels easy. But we've got things like big, lush Java fern green here, which is really established, really nice. We've got some really wicked anubias nanas as well. My favourites, bucephalndras, because they're always going to do well in a tank. Got these really cool hairgrass mat. So I'm going to cut this one up into clumps and sort of place it in amongst the rockwork. And I've brought a few pots just to sort of give me some, sprigs to plant around. And then... oh, and this one actually, don't forget that, lagodendra. That'll come up in a real nice pinky purpley leaf. And then we've got these beasts. So you might recognise these from the pea puffer tank in the shop. So we had to thin the plants out a little bit. So I brought a few of them here. And they're just going to go in that back corner, hopefully sort of scooting around the wood and coming around each side of the wood. So let's get planting. Right, so we've got that monster balansae crypt in the back now. So he is, well, he's an absolute beast. I think I'm going to have to cut off some of these bigger leaves because they reach over to the far side of this tank. But there's some shorter ones on there, so I think we'll be fine once I sort that out. Next, we've got some epiphytes, so we're going to use these Java ferns. I've broken up these big anubias nanas so that we've got sort of 4 or 5 tiny little sprigs. So then we can plant them in amongst here. But I'm going to glue these, I think, to a couple of rocks to place in behind. And then, I think we'll just plug plant them. I don't think we'll need to glue many of the anubiases to rock. And then we've got the buces. The buces need to come out. So hopefully that'll be all our epiphytes done then. That is a ton of epiphytes. So we've got some big anubias nanas up at the top here. We've got bucephalndra, I think it's green velvet. And we've also got the nana bonsai as well down the bottom. So they're the really tiny little guys. And they're looking good. You can see our Java ferns sort of mingled into the crypt at the moment. But once all the crypt sits up and sort of spreads out, you should be able to see them a little bit better. So now that we've done the epiphytes, we're going to move on to some of the pots over here. So we've got things on here like the lagodendra, that one. Lagodendra meboldii, that. They come out in a really nice sort of pinky coloration. I don't think I'm going to use the eleocharis because we've got the hairgrass, and I think the hairgrass will suit this tank better. But we've also got some little crypt nevellii, so I think we might just put a bit of all of them in, and that way it's just a bit of everything, isn't it? It's ideal. We are planted, hopefully. Now we are. We've used every single pot that I brought because why not? They're here. I don't want to take them back. No one needs that. They are all in here. So we've got the hairgrasses. We've got the liliopsis coming in like a nice little river sort of swathe coming through. A few crypt nevellii sort of dotted about in amongst it all, and then that big mat of hairgrass that I had has just been broken up into a few clumps and placed through. Obviously, once they settle, they'll start sending runners out into this soil and really filling in that front edge. So that's it, it's all planted. The next thing to do is fill it up. We are filled. So it is looking epic. Proper jungly, which is the vibe I was going for. Really sort of overgrown in this woody section in the front. The hair grass is all going to settle in and sort of grow throughout this soil at the front. The eleocharis is going to do the exact same thing and creep around. And then you're just going to have these sort of pops of different plants coming up through. Obviously, the balansae crypt is a little bit curly at the moment, but give him a couple of days and he'll straighten out and be really sort of straight across the top of that aquarium. Now, the next time you guys see this, hopefully, it'll be really clear. The plants have settled in really, really well. The slight yellow that the bogwood has sort of leached into the aquarium gives it a really nice glow, and it's made it look sort of more natural, I would say. The structure of the bogwood poking through the plants, just makes it look really authentic and really sort of nature-scapey, which has really sort of pleased me in the way that it's come out. All the small plants growing down at the front as well will eventually in time bed in and fill that front area. As a whole, the aquarium's come together really, really well. The crypt balansae that I actually got from the shop and borrowed it out of the pea puffer aquarium has actually done really well and hasn't melted as much as I thought it was going to, which I'm really happy with. It was a bit of a coincidence, but a lot of the plants have those same sort of emerald green colours to them, which has sort of brought a continuity throughout the scape. I'm super excited to see how this scape matures over the next few weeks and months. I'll definitely have to hitch a lift back to NT Labs to see how it's grown in, especially when they start adding some fish to it. Thanks so much to NT Labs for inviting me over to scape this tank. It has been great fun. It's turned out really, really nice. Hopefully I can revisit in a few weeks' time, but we'll see how we get on. It's a long way from my house, so yeah, maybe I'll hitch another lift. I'll see how I get on. See you in the next one.